Good morning and welcome to the lecture session. In this slide, we will be discussing what is sampling, what is population, what are the purposes of sampling, and also the types of sampling distribution and etc. Meaning and objectives of sampling. So, sampling it denotes a selection of part of aggregate statistical material with a view to obtaining information about the whole. So, for example, if we want to conclude something about a population which consists of large number of samples, then we cannot test each and everything. So what we do is we select some small amount, in that we will try to conclude the data. That is, say for example, if there is a manufacturing unit and in that pens are manufactured, and whether each pen is of a good quality, we cannot check it. So what we should do is, supposing if 100 or 1000 pens are manufactured at a time, it cannot be tested for all the pens whether it is a good quality or not. What we should do is, randomly we have to pick some pens from each bundle, or we have to take randomly some pens and then test it. Out of 100, 10 pens can be selected as a sample size, or out of 500, 50 can be selected. Like that we can choose some number so that the quality can be tested. So population or universe, that is the aggregate or totality of statistical information on a particular character of all the members covered by an investigation, is called population or universe. As I have told, it is a manufacturing unit. The lot of pens will be manufactured. Say for example, per day they are doing, or they are producing some 1000 or 2000 pens. That is the population of the universe. And for the sampling purpose, we will select some 10 pens or 100 pens depending on the number of the pens that has been manufactured. That will be the sample size. Then what is a sample? The selected part which is used to ascertain the characteristics of population is called sample. Say, as I told you, that is 2000 pens are manufactured per day. In that some 20 pens may be selected or 200 pens may be selected. That will be the sample size. Depending on the situation, they will be selecting a sample. That is a sample. And next is the population size. So population size is, as I told you, it may be 2000, 3000, like this it will be varying. That is the total size of this one, or total number of members of the population. It is denoted by n. Next is a sample size. It is the number included in the sample, denoted by n. As I told you, say 200 pens are manufactured, 2000 pens are manufactured, means that is the population size. And for testing purpose, whether it is working out properly or not, we will select some 10 pens or 20 pens or 200 pens. That will be the size of the sample for which it has to be tested. Next, what is the main objective of the sampling is to obtain the maximum information about the population with minimum effort. So, in this case, as I told you, some 2000 pens are manufactured. We wanted to check the longevity of this, quality of this, and everything. What all the qualities which is required for a pen has to be tested. That we cannot test it by writing all the pens. That is, all the 2000 pens cannot be used and then tested. So for which we will be selecting only few pens and then writing. That is the main objective of sampling. It can be applied for any other purposes like this. Some of the important types of sampling. So here the three types mainly are there, that is a random sampling, purposive sampling and stratified sampling. So first one is a random sampling. Here sampling must be random. That means, for example, in a college or in a class, a faculty wants to select some 10 students out of 50 students in a class, and the random sampling means they can put some chits with the USN or names of all the students in a box and shake it or shuffle it and pick 10 chits randomly without knowing who is that. That is called as the random sampling. So by choosing the 10 chits like this, the 10 students will be randomly selected, and each one of them has the equal probability of getting included in the sample. That is what the random sampling says. Here the sampling must be random. It is the method of selection of a group of units in such a manner that every unit comprising the population has an equal chance of being included in the sample. Next comes the purposive sampling. In the purposive sampling, it is like a judgmental or subjective sampling, also we can call it as, when the sample is selected based on individual judgment of a sampler, it is called a purposive sampling. That means already it will be known to the sampling purpose, for what purpose we are doing it. Say for example, study wise, those who are good in studies, among them only we wanted to select people, so only that people or that group will be selected. That is a purposive one. Or for example, some cricket team will be there in the set, and in that only they will be selecting the students. It is not that randomly it will be selected. It is a purposive, some purpose will be there behind it, or some judgment will be there, individual judgment. That is the purposive sampling. Whereas the stratified sampling, in the stratified sampling, population will be subdivided into several parts called as a strata, and then the subsample is chosen from each of them. For example, in a college, for all the 4 years students will be there, like first year, second year, third year and then the fourth year. So each one will be grouped first, second, third and then the fourth, and in each group some 10 students will be selected. Then it will be stratified sampling. Already grouping is done, first year, second year, third year and then the fourth year, and each group will be selected with 10 students. So that will be the stratified sampling. So next is sampling with and without replacement. Sampling with replacement means after a member has been selected, again they will be replaced back, and again the person will be chosen or the sample will be chosen. That means a person or a sample will be having a probability of getting selected more than once. That is with replacement. Whereas without replacement, if we take, say for example, say 1 to 10 students are there, and first student will be selected, and again he will be put back into the group, and once again the selection will be happening. Any one student will be selected. So that time first student which has already been selected will also have the chance of getting selected. That is with replacement. Whereas without replacement, if we take, say again the 10 students are there, without replacement means some student randomly will be selected. Say for example, the fifth student will be taken out for some event and he will be kept aside. Remaining 9 will be there. That is the second time when you taking the sampling, that student will not be in the team again. So out of 9 only it will be selected. That means that student will not be in, which is already selected, who is already been selected, will not be included in the sample. So each one will have only one chance of getting selected. Whereas with replacement, if you take, each one will have more than once the sampling criteria. So here it reads the definition like this: sampling where a member of a population may be selected more than once is called as a sampling with replacement. If the member cannot be chosen more than once, is called as a sampling without replacement. Next is the simple sampling. It's a special case of random sampling in which which are independent and probability of success is a constant. The word statistics is often used for the random variable for its value. So next comes the sampling distribution. So we suppose that we have different sample of size n drawn from the population. For each and every sample of size n, we cannot compute quantities like means, standard deviation, etc. Obviously, these will not be same. Suppose we group these characteristics according to their frequency. The frequency distribution so generated are called sampling distribution of mean, standard deviation, etc. And sampling distribution of a larger sample is assumed to be the normal distribution. So standard deviation of sampling distribution is also called as the standard error. The reciprocal of the standard error is called as the precession. Next is sampling distribution of means and sample variables. So sample mean is a statistic and we discuss the sampling distribution of the statistic. Here we consider all the possible random samples of size n and determine the mean of each one of these samples. We discuss the sampling distribution of the sample means for two possible types of random sampling, that is with or without replacement associated with finite population. So first one is random sampling with replacement. Here the items are drawn one by one and are put back to the population before the next one is drawn. If n is the size of the population and small n is size of the sample, then we have n to the power of n samples. The mean mu x bar of the frequency distribution of sample means will be equal to the population mean. Here mean mu of x bar is frequency distribution of sample, whereas this one is mean of the population. That will be equal in this one. Next, because it will be replaced, a variable sigma square x bar of frequency distribution or the sample means will be equal to sigma square by n, where sigma square is the variance of the population. Hence we have mu x bar is equal to mu sigma square x bar is equal to sigma square by n, where sigma x bar is also called as the standard error of the means. So next is the without replacement. Here the items are drawn one by one and are not put back to the population before the next draw. In the case there will be NCN samples and we have the following results in accordance with the notation. So mu x bar is mu and sigma x bar square is n minus n by n minus 1 into sigma square by n. That can be sigma square by n, where c sigma square by n, where c is n minus n by n minus 1, is called the finite population correction factor. If notice, if capital N is large, c is closer to 1, as we have limit of this n minus 1 by n minus 1, n minus n by n minus 1 when n is tending to infinity will be equals to 1. Standard error. The standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the statistics is known as the standard error. It plays an important role in the theory of large samples and it forms a basis for the testing of the hypothesis. It is any statistic for the large sample x bar minus mu divided by sigma by root n is normally distributed with mean 0 and variance is unity. Next comes the statistical hypothesis. It's an assertion or a conjecture or a guess about the distribution of one or more random variable. So next comes the testing of the hypothesis. So for a problem when it has been given, we will formulate a hypothesis. That is, hypothesis formulated for the purpose of its rejection under the hypothesis is called as a null hypothesis and is denoted by H naught. Next, any hypothesis which is complementary to the null hypothesis is called hypothesis. That is alternate hypothesis and it is denoted by H1. So, two types of hypothesis are there. That is, one is a null hypothesis that is formulated for the purpose of rejection is called as a null hypothesis, and another one is or complementary to the null hypothesis is called as the alternative hypothesis. To test whether the processor B is in the process A, we can formulate as there is no difference process A and B, difference in the process. So relation, another one is to test whether there is a relation between the A and B, can be formula hypothesis as there is no relation between them. Next comes the critical region. A region corresponding to a statistics in the sample space S which amounts to rejection of the null hypothesis H naught is called critical region or the region of rejection. A region of the samples S which amounts to the acceptance of H naught is called the acceptance region. Thank you.